There's some controversy over INEC's use of private road transport groups to distribute election materials in Lagos. The electoral body has partnered with the Lagos State Park and Garage Management Committee, headed by Transport Kingpin or MC Oluomo. He is said to be a member of the Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress, but the state's resident electoral commissioner has assured residents that the election will not be compromised.
Vehicles we are going to take, they will go to Central Bank to collect our loads. From there, we have party agents are going to be there. So to follow them from there, in fact, they don't leave us from Central Bank to the day of election. They are always with us. So they are going to follow the material. Security agencies will be there. The military are even going to be at the rear to follow them. So anybody who veers out of the line anyhow on the convoy will be in trouble. And we are going to monitor them from our own system here as they leave and they are getting to their station. And we are also informing Abuja through the same EMSC that they are ready in the addition. Out of 20, 7 have arrived, 5 are on the way. And so that is what the way we work in INEC.
Well, let's bring in Atiku's Special Assistant on Public Communication, Frank Shoaibu, for more on this conversation. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Glad to be here. How do you do?
How do you do? I'm great. Let's understand this conversation. Are you calling for the park and garage management in Lagos to remove its chairman in the person of MC Oluomo, that's his popular name? Or are you saying that INEC should not use the park management in Lagos at all? What is it?
It would be ridiculous for me to be asking for the removal of MC Oluomo as the chairman of the Lagos Parks and Management Committee, because I'm not his member. I cannot be a member of such a committee. You understand me? So, and I'm not one, so I don't have a locus to ask for his removal as chairman of that committee. What we are saying is that, and our business has to do with the election, that historians and everybody has seen as a watershed in the history of our country, the 2023 election. And because it is a referendum on the APC government, everyone knows that MC Oluomo is not only an appendage of the presidential candidate of the APC, he is their friend, he is in bed with the candidate, and a member of the Presidential Campaign Council of the APC. But curiously, the resident electoral commissioner in charge of Lagos, only a few days ago on national television, certainly not Arise TV, on one of the TV stations, curiously said and stated, when he was asked about encumbrances some people face in strongholds of the opposition party in Lagos State, in picking up their PVCs. And he made a very partisan comment. He said something. He said, a majority of the people who have been unable to pick up their PVCs are people who migrated from a section of this country. Particularly, he mentioned the Southeast. It's on tape. Who came from the Southeast to register and engage in double registration, and that is why they've not been able to pick up their PVCs. And I consider that as a height of bigotry and recklessness on the part of a resident electoral commissioner in an election year, in few weeks to election, few days to election in Nigeria, in a state that has over 7 million registered voters. And that was why, in one of our statements 2 days ago, which was captured in the media this morning, we stated clearly that, look, the national chairman of INEC should, as a matter of exigency, call the rec to order or remove him. Because on the same program, he bragged about engaging the services of MC Oluomo and his motor parks committee to run the affairs or to move sensitive election materials to the various locations. And we're asking a simple question. Assuming but not even conceding that you have been using what we call the National Union of Road Transport Workers. That organization is not proscribed in Lagos. It was only barred in Lagos by the governor, who is another appendage and who is a stooge of the candidate of the APC. You understand? With profound respect.
Yeah,
with profound respect.
Frank, no, it is wrong for you to be using such, corrosive words, because this is an elected governor, so you cannot say he's not elected as a stooge to anybody. All right, so just address the issues.
The issue is simple. When somebody is pliable, the person is pliable. You understand? So it is only a matter of semantics. Well, the issue is simple. MC Oluomo is a member of the Presidential Campaign Council of the APC. He is the leader of the Motor Parks Committee in Lagos. And the Resident Electoral Commissioner has stated on national television that, look, they have empowered MC Oluomo and his committee to move sensitive election materials. And we are saying the Resident Electoral Commissioner is even going beyond his brief. Because the job, the responsibility of who procures any agency, any logistics company to move sensitive election materials from one location to the other is not the job of a resident electoral commissioner, but the job of the director of procurement of the National Independent National Electoral Commission. So if he's going outside his brief, what we are saying is whatever compromise he has reached with anybody, whatever agreement he has reached with anybody, INEC owes the Nigerians a duty. Most importantly, that the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has stated clearly that he wants to leave a legacy of free and fair election. This election year this particular election is a watershed in our history. Yes, and Nigerians have seen hunger, tears, blood, and pain.
Okay.
And it is left for them. They have a rare opportunity of electing people of proven character and leadership to lead them. So anything that will compromise the electoral process must be put in check and must be corrected now. Okay. So it is either they stop MC Oluomo and his agents.
Going to look, Frank. Yes, don't make it a monologue, all right? It's a dialogue here now, right?
No, with respect, you asked me a question and I'm responding.
Yeah, I'm going to.
So you only interject me and tell me, okay, you want to ask me another question.
I'm going to ask you for the question.
I'm not in the classroom.
All right. First one.
Yes.
Has your party written to INEC to raise these objections? 2, logistics. Independent National Electoral Commission. They've often used the members of the National Union of Roads Transport Workers. And you admitted, yes, MC Oluomo was once a member, a prominent member. And Lagos State government deemed it fit to form, maybe a modern union and the rest. And INEC still says, for logistics movement that we don't have, we are relying on these people. And of course, INEC expects that security will be provided. What's your fears?
You see, with profound respect, you're speaking as if you were a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. But let me correct you. I know you are not. I know you are not. But you see, let me correct one impression. Lagos State government did not set up any modern company, any modern organization or parks committee. The truth is this: MC Oluomo, the chairman of the Lagos Parks and Management Committee, as constituted by Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was a member of the National Union of Road Transport Workers. That's an organization that has been in existence before the birth of so many young people. Maybe for this one, I don't know, but for me, you understand? But interestingly, this guy was given so much opportunity. He became bigger than even the union, the national leadership of the union, and they went in. They had their own internal crisis, and in the process, the state government barred the union in the state, but the union was not proscribed. To proscribe a union, a legitimate union like the NURTW, it behoved on the governor to have approached the court of competent jurisdiction, which he did not do. All they did was to bar. That does not mean that the NURTW are not in existence in Lagos. Okay. So they have their members in Lagos. If you don't even want to deal with them, why not hire a logistics company?
You haven't responded to the first question.
The first question.
Yes.
Have you
written to INEC?
Party written to INEC to raise this up?
The issue is simple. INEC has not even communicated their mode of transportation in Lagos in writing to any of the parties. Only their overzealous resident electoral commissioner went on national television to make those pronouncements, and we have to use the same medium to respond to him and call on INEC as well to call him to order. It is either they stop that process process, or they remove the resident electoral commissioner. Simple.
Mr. Shabu, this is interesting to hear, because INEC, we know, does have periodic meetings with political parties, and I wonder what political parties have been discussing with INEC in the build-up to these elections. But the National Commissioner for Information for INEC, some hours ago, responded to this same issue on another another TV station, and he said, and I quote, the commission enters into individual contract with the vehicle owners and not any union. Those saying this or pushing this narrative, he describes it as mischief. He says the only thing we have with unions is memorandum of understanding, and that is for checks and balances. So if a driver does not show up on election day, or the materials go missing, then the union that knows their members can provide them. But they deal directly with the drivers of the vehicle. Are you satisfied with this sort of, does it bring any sort of reprieve?
No, at this one, I think somebody is even being mischievous here. Only a few days ago, INEC held a meeting with the leadership of the National Union of Road Transport Workers.
They have an MOU with
because they have an MOU with them. So if you have an MOU with them, that is the body, the umbrella body. And that is what they expect to use in all the states in Nigeria. Outside Lagos, that created a unique park management committee headed by MC Oluomo, who is a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, who on his own wrote a letter to INEC. This is his letter. This is a letter duly received by INEC that he wants his committee to handle the distribution of sensitive election materials, letter of notification and request on transportation logistics. This is a letter written by him. If the spokesman of INEC did not admit to this, he should as well tell his resident electoral commissioner in Lagos that you are being mischievous for saying that MC Oluomo and his parks management committee are the ones who are going to handle logistics. So if he's talking about mischief, the man who is being mischievous here is the resident electoral commissioner in Lagos, and as such he should be removed with immediate effect.
Thank you very much, Frank Shuaibu. I can see Frank is blowing really hot here, not cold at all.
No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous in a country of over. You see, we're talking about the future of over 200 million Nigerians.
Have to go now,
the destiny of 200 million Nigerians.
Frank Shuaibu is one of the presidential spokesperson of the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar.